Hi guys, Irit here with a new process video for hip kits, and for this one I'm using some of the cut files. We get free cut files every month. Some are for everyone that creates an account on the website, so you don't have to subscribe, and then there are also exclusive cut files for subscribers. So what I did here is I just welded a bunch of the cut files, the You Make Me Happy, and then I welded some of the circles to it. And what I want to do is create a background using the Prima Oil Pastels, and I'm just marking with a pencil just a few dots so I have an idea where my die cut is going to lie. And yeah, I'm gonna get messy. I'm not using any gesso. I really want to have the texture of the cardstock. This is heavyweight textured cardstock by American Crafts. It comes in the cardstock kit, and I really want the texture to show through. Now, in order to blend these pastels, I started with a layer of white, and that is just going to make it easier for me to blend them, because you kind of need to have a nice amount of the pastel to move it around if you're not using any water or something like a baby wipe. And especially if you're not, if you're just doing it directly on the cardstock like I am and not using gesso to prep your surface. But this worked beautifully. And the white here, the white oil pastel is our best friend in this technique, because it just does most of the blending for me. So I'm just showing you what colors I'm using. I'm sorry if it's a little bit, if it's making you a little bit sick, the focusing in and out. And I see that all this rubbing is making the camera shake a little bit. So sorry about that. But I wanted you to see how I'm doing this. So it's really very simple. You just use your fingers and apply the pastel, and just make sure you clean them before switching colors, or you risk creating mud, so some unattractive colors. And it looks like I'm rubbing really hard, but I'm not really. And where I feel like I need to apply some more pressure, I do that carefully. You can still see here the scribble lines where I applied the pastel in the beginning, and you can see how beautiful the white just blends them out. Now you do get these like shavings, so you just want to be careful with that and just blow them away, or smear them on your background. And this was really, really fun to make. So I just went with kind of rainbow colors. I kind of tried to match them to the Dear Lizzy pattern paper you see on the left, but not really. So when I put the die cut on top of it, I saw that there are certain areas that I just wanted to make a little bit darker, just to give it some more depth. And I'm making these areas right next to the die cut. So you will see it kind of, it's those areas between the letters. And I think it's just the simplest when you see, like, this one is around the P's, between the P and the Y in happy. And then I'm going to make, I'm showing you fast now with my finger, just 3 slightly darker areas to give some more dimension. and I'm just going over with the same colors and using the white to blend. The white really blends this easily. Of course, it makes it also softer, the color, but it blends it really well. And if you start adding a lot of layers, then you're going to lose the texture of the cardstock. So you're just not going to be able to see it, because the pastels are very soft and they just fill in those little nooks and crannies in the paper. So you can see where there's more pastel, you don't get that texture. There's no right or wrong here. It just depends on the look you're going for. I actually like the texture to show, so I tried to not apply this too heavily. And I just want to make that area at the top a little bit darker. And that's it. I'm not gonna work this, I'm not going to, how do you call it, overwork this, because I just want that slightly grungy look of the colors. I want them blended and I want the edges to be nice, but I don't want this overworked. So I'm kind of looking, and I decided I needed something. So this was a bit risky, but I decided it would be a nice way to give this a more finished look, and also a bit grungier, I would say. So I added very, very delicately, very carefully, a little bit black to the edges, and that really frames the whole layout. And after I added the black, I just went here to bring some papers to protect my surface. As you can see, my craft mat is quite dirty, but I didn't want these black lines on it. So I'm very, very gently, and right on the very edge, I'm adding some black oil pastel, and then I'm going to smear it with my finger. Again, you want to do this gently so you don't crease the paper. And then I decided I wanted to soften it up a bit with the white, just because the white of, I also like how it looks, but now you can see the difference, how it looks without the white and how it looks with the white. So it really tones it down. The left is with the right, with the white. The left side there of the close-up was with the white. So the white has a different shade of white than the cardstock, and I wanted that different shade to be in the center where all my other colors were, and also in the frame, just to bring the whole design together. I think it just, this repetition makes it look more cohesive. So that part is done, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew my, I just added a bit of vellum. I punched it and then I added it behind the bigger circles, just for some added detail. It looks really pretty. I will soon show you in a close-up. I am in love with doing close-ups, because I can show you all those little details, and then I drop it and make it way too fast. I'll get the hang of it slowly. So I'm just going to sew it on my background, and I'm going to add some embellishments. And the thing is, this is layout number 17 with these kits. Yes, 17. I made 17 layouts with the August kits. I have a video. It will be up tomorrow if you're watching this on Saturday the 17th. So on the 18th, I'm going to post a Killakit video, but it doesn't have this layout in it because I made this after I filmed that video. And I really didn't have a lot of just supplies to work with, because I used so many, and I used the ones I really loved. So what I did was I went back to the July and June kits, which I didn't use up as much as I did with August kits, And I just took some bits and pieces. For example, I used some of the exclusive puffy stickers from June that I loved, those clouds and that balloon. I wanted to use it for ages, and I just didn't find the right layout for some reason. But they made it to this one. And then I used the rubber shapes from the Amy Tan collection, Better Together, I think it's called. And just a few more bits and pieces. And I added my journaling on the side. Now you want to be careful because not every pen works on oil pastels. I think most pens probably won't work. So I managed to get my journaling on a part of the cardstock that wasn't covered with the oil pastels. But if you want to add it in an area where you did use the pastels, then I recommend typing it on vellum or writing it on vellum with some sort of permanent pen, and then adhering it or sewing it onto your layout. Because if you write directly on the oil pastels, it can gum up your pen. So just be careful when you're doing that. I think the easiest would be just to print it or write it on a Project Life card or vellum and then add it to your layout. Like that speech bubble would have been great. And yeah, that's it. So I really enjoyed using the oil pastels. I think that's my favorite way of using them, just, kind of heavily and using my fingers to blend them. Oh, and another thing that I was really happy about is I had some of these white clear stickers from Amy Tan that came in the Project Life August kit. And because I used a lot of white cardstock this month for my layouts, I couldn't really use them because you don't see them when you just apply them on white cardstock. But because I colored my background here, it does show, and it's this beautiful subtle effect that you can get a better idea of in the close-ups. So I'm just looking through the stickers if I want to add anything more, and I'm going to add a few of those little triangles. So thanks for watching. I hope I can post as many process videos of layouts that I made with the August kit. I'll do my best. It's time consuming and I'm a little bit short on time these days. What I will for sure film is the unboxing of the September kits once they get to me, which I think will be next week. I'm recording this September 13th, so probably next week. And this is my finished layout. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Look at these close-up. Look at that texture. So much fun. Love it. And there you can see the white Amy Tan stickers. They look beautiful on the colored background. So use them like this. It's a great idea, if I do say so myself. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.